Welcome back. Few aspects we need to be aware of while during the interview. How we look and feel, how we greet the interviewer makes our first impression, and we want that to be our best. Proper interview etiquette is necessary.
Greet your interviewer with a smile. Shake hands. Let's say I'm meeting somebody named Rahul. What I would do is I'll look into the person's eye, smile a bit, and say Rahul with a handshake just to show that I'm sitting with the right person. So, Rahul, and no need to show all your 32 canine and smile and laugh. Basically, it just is a simple normal smile with enthusiasm, excitement to greet a person. So greet him well. And if you are a gentleman and you are going to meet a lady, you are not supposed to initiate a handshake. Let that lady initiate, and if she is not interested, she would not initiate. That means we have to skip this. And even if there's a handshake, it should not go beyond 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds max. So ensure it's done there. Don't keep on holding somebody else's hand.
Next is do not judge.
We humans have tendency, when we meet somebody, we have a perception about that person the moment we see them. We have different bucket. Is the person good? Is he bad? So we presume that person to be good or bad. But here this is not the time. So especially in interview, in case you want to judge somebody, or in case you have this feeling, please ensure we think good thoughts. We think that this person is going to be really kind to us. If you want to have a preconceived notion, rather have a positive preconceived notion than a negative one. That would also soothe our fears, probably, because of which we are thinking negative.
Next is body language.
Show high level of enthusiasm and excitement. You don't have to jump for sure, but there has to be enthusiasm and excitement that you are called for an interview. Even if you feel nervous, tell yourself that you are really lucky that you got chance to sit in an interview, rather than those people who had mailed resume and they have not been called. So you are lucky. Also, don't slouch in chair. Sit straight. Do not cross your legs. Do not cross your hands. And nod whenever a person is saying, or acknowledge. So, okay. So nod in between. There are certain people, they have no facial expression at all, and so it is wise that you acknowledge. Okay, yes, acknowledge when the person is speaking, or else you can nod to show that you understand what a person is trying to talk to you.
Next is paying attention.
At times, interviews are conducted at workstation rather than a meeting room. So if at all you are being interviewed at workstation, at the center where people are operational, working full-fledged, all you want is your attention should be towards the interviewer. So don't get distracted with what is happening around you. Probably there might be a celebration, people are working there, moving here and there. Ensure your attention is 100% on the interviewer only for the time, at least when you are giving an interview. So be attentive, nod, listen, and give all your attention to the person in front of you. Be attentive, look interested, and nod.
Next is gestures. Relax your body and use subtle hand gestures when speaking. Next is maintain personal space. Maintain appropriate personal space. Ensure that the chair is at least 4 to 5 feet away from the interviewer and do not get close. Don't interrupt. Do not interrupt when interviewer is speaking. Let the person complete. You will get your chance to speak. So do not interrupt. Last is build rapport. If you are able to build rapport, this will definitely leave a lasting impression. Can be done with our gestures, body language, mannerism, and the gems that we would be sharing our past experience when a question is being asked.
The best way to build a rapport is through sharing of ideas in a form of story. So here what I want to impress, or here what we rather want to impress on the interviewer, is that we are more capable than what we are in a form which interviewer remembers us and sees us better than what we are able to represent. So how do we do that? We do that in a form of story. So you remember in earlier session we had discussed about that gem of box, our small success stories that we discussed. The more we share, chances are more that we would be selected. Why? Because here you would be discussing one important aspect, that earlier the situation was, this was the problem here, and because of your effort the result came to this level. So from year to year you had to ensure that you reach to this particular result. So when you share a concept that how you did, I'm sure every problem will have a different approach, different method to solve or come to that level. So what you did during the course, when you share it, you will just share the steps. However, interviewer will also capitalize on what you've been saying. So the interviewer would also be able to see the soft skill that you've used, the tactics that you've used, concepts that you've used. So different strategies that you've used from year till year is something that the interviewer would look beyond what you have said. So the more you say in the form of story, your own success story, you would be speaking just the fact how you move from year till year. Interviewer would also see things way beyond the facts. So it could be a team building skill, it could be a leadership skill, it could be a listening skill, it could be a skill wherein you make things easy for people, it could be a skill wherein you know how to lead people, and when there's a problem and when there's a solution and when there's a way post which a result is very good, multiple aspects of your nature is being shown. So that is how we can have a lasting impression, and the moment we have a lasting impression plus stories always are easy to build rapport.